the greatest diversity of birds in Kenya. With a record 450 bird species found here, the lake is classified as a Ramsar site, a wetland of international importance. These birds have captured the interest of people as diverse and colorful as the bird species themselves. Every year, in the month of July, a group of these people gather in Naivasha to participate in the waterfowl count, or what is simply known as the bird count. They come to establish the resident bird population. In January, they will be back again to determine how many birds have migrated into the area. Armed with binoculars, telescopes, and bird guidebooks, on boat and on land, they go across the lake ecosystem, counting every bird they come across. Is the chasing around of birds by grown people really justifiable? Or should it just be confined to child's play? Today we join Simon Musila and a bird counting group to understand the importance of this exercise.
This activity is important because birds are important indicators of the quality of the wetland ecosystems. What we are trying to look at is the numbers of individuals of the species that are found in these wetland areas. So in case that species of a particular bird decline, maybe they decline dramatically, that can be an indication that that particular wetland where they are found, there's a problem which needs further investigation.
Having established that bird counts provide critical information for monitoring the ecological condition of habitats in which the bird species occur, we follow some birders to find out what species are found in Lake Naivasha and what they signify. Some of the bird species that you're likely to see include the great white pelican, the long-tailed cormorant, the African jacana, the pied kingfisher, and both the greater and lesser flamingos if you're lucky enough to visit Lake Oloidien, a small shallow lake that has broken off the main lake. One species that is a must-see, however, is the African fish eagle. This bird, which is the lake's flagship species, is a favorite of many. Dominic Kimani, a local ornithologist, tells us why the fish eagle is of great importance to this ecosystem.
One of the very common birds, you will actually be met by the sound. The fish eagle are even calling, even at this moment. And wherever maybe there are fewer fish eagles, you would maybe understand maybe there are fewer fish in the lake, and it will be used like a bio-indicator to tell the change.
He also explains to us how the red-knobbed coots, common in Lake Naivasha, also act as an ecological indicator.
Other important birds in this lake, like say the coots, they're also telling us about the macrophytes, what is like growing in the lake. Whenever they are reducing in number, we know there is no balance in the lake.
Have there been any significant changes within the lake ecosystem? Douglas Kashusha tells us about a bird species that has completely disappeared from the lake.
We we can say like African data. Some maybe 10 or 15 years ago, there were a lot of African data. Now they are very few. Maybe today we might even get none. Maybe in the whole lake we might get none.
And true to his word, we don't get to see the African darter, commonly known as the snake bird. If you spend too much time watching the lake, you may miss to see the many terrestrial birds found in the riparian area, the land that surrounds the lake. Look out for birds such as the lovely lilac-breasted roller, the superb starling, which is always on the move. Some of these birds may not be ecological indicators of the lake, but they are also very important to the ecosystem. They act as pollinators and seed dispersers, carrying pollen and seed from one place to another. They also play a critical role in pest control, feeding on disease-causing organisms found in our farms and gardens. It is estimated that there are 1,089 species of birds in Kenya, approximately 11% of the world's species. With such a high concentration of birds, it is no wonder that bird tourism is becoming an important component of tourism. There is definitely great potential for Kenya to tap this rare resource. In the past, birding activities were mainly confined to foreigners in Kenya. However, over the last few years, the interest in birding among local people has been on the increase. Nixon Tanui, Naivasha hotelier, tells us more.
We are seeing a lot of change from the past. People never used to like watching birds, but nowadays the local tourists really like watching birds. When they come, they like seeing different species of birds within our vicinity. We have maintained the environment. It's suitable to all kinds of birds. If you watch the environment within us, we are in conformity with nature.
Most of the volunteers involved in the bird count, for example, are young Kenyans who attend regular bird walks organized by Nature Kenya. Many of them develop this interest further. We speak to a few people who started off as volunteers in the bird count.
I've done 4 bird counts in this exercise, and it's been quite fun. I've gotten to know many new species which I didn't know, and also explore new breeding grounds, nesting sites.
Me, I'm an anthropological safari guide, so I really get clients who are really interested on bird watching. So I make good money on trips on birding, especially Naivasha, whereby Naivasha is one of the hotspots of birding in Kenya. So for sure, right now I rely on birds for my living.